Hello there my fellow Holotable heroes and welcome to another SWGOH video. Hope you had a great week and that you're looking forward to the weekend ahead. But first, we do have a galactic challenge to take care of. This time we're taken again to the planet of Kashyyyk. Now the planet Kashyyyk has been known by its big trees and forests, but there was other flora and fauna on the planet that maybe it wasn't as friendly as those big large trees, such as the carnivorous jaw plants. Now these plants, they grew in the dark and moist shadowlands of Kashyyyk, and they possessed traps that emitted an airborne chemical which stimulated the hungry animals, luring them with the false promise of food. Now once creature stepped onto the trap, the jaw would quickly close around it and immediately start with digestion while the animal was still alive. Ugh. Anyway, if you're a Jedi, you shouldn't be too much worried about it, because if you would have a lightsaber, you could easily escape it just by slicing through the traps. Just as it was done by Cal Kestis while he was trying to climb to the top of the origin tree in the Jedi Fallen Order. Now today's challenge, on the surface it looks like an easy and straightforward one. You go like, what? Carfleet? I have to use Empire? We'll pulp train these guys or something, but oh boy. Was I wrong when I went into the battle? And the reason is they loaded especially Carf and Kenris with a lot of speed, and then Kenris getting bonus turn meter. Ugh. Anyway, more about it later. As always, I'll cover the modifiers, feats, show you my mods, and explain some of the mechanics behind the team that I used. In this one, I'll actually show you two battles, but both battles will get you all feats done, all 4 feats done in a single battle. The reason why I'm showing you two, so one is if you do have a very fast Moff Gideon, it makes it a lot easier, but if you don't have a very fast Moff Gideon, you can still get it done as long as you have Piet in there. More about that, why Piet is crucial later once I'm going through the mechanics. Okay, so let's start with the global modifier then. So for Kashyyyk, Righteous Retribution, it does a lot of things, but the one I noticed the most here is the one that whenever a unit is defeated, another random ally takes a bonus turn. And this probably sometimes plays a little bit of RNG. Let's say you take first Candace out, and then if maybe Jedi Knight Revan or somebody would get a bonus turn, you know, it could complicate a little bit of things. So there's definitely a little bit of RNG in play there. Who gets those bonus turns when you start taking them out? Then the modifier for the Empire, again, does a lot of things. It's one of my favorite actually to play with, because whenever your leader will use a special ability, everybody will get called to assist, and you also get a Snowtrooper operative summoned. And he's a good unit there, as he's got a lot of utility. He can stun on his basic, his AoE can dispel and things like that, so definitely he will help a lot in this battle. And finally, while the Old Republic modifier is not usually all that crazy, for this particular case, as you can see, they're immune to tenacity down and they start with a lot of tenacity, so maybe you'll be struggling a little bit there to land some damage over time so Vader can do some big hits. But that's why you know, you'll have to load your guys with potency, and more about it later. Let's just leave it for now. Moving on to the feats, you obviously have to complete the battle here. You have to complete the battle after attempting to inflict damage over time, so not after landing. Because of all that extra tenacity, maybe you won't be able to land 30 damage over times, but it's enough to attempt. So that's kind of good. Then you have to win after scoring 3 critical hits in a row. I mean, Vader will be taking like million turns in a row anyway, so not much of an issue there. And obviously we will be using a full team of Empire units. Now for the enemy there, as listed before, they don't look all that scary once you just look at them, but these guys have very high speed, especially I have no idea how Carf can be so quick, but he gets going, then Candace gets going, and they're dealing true damage on their basic attacks. You know, Candace then has these multiple attacks on his basics, so they can quite quickly chew through your guys if you don't keep control over them. Luckily, speaking of control, let me show you the team that I'll be using here in the first battle. Okay, so as mentioned before, you have to find a way to control these guys, and the way I did this was with Vader's leadership, because he got 50% chance to remove 20% turn meter, and this cannot be removed. So that's the key. These guys got very high tenacity, so having an effect that can't be resisted is really important. Vader, obviously, he'll do all the other stuff. Let me just show you the mods. Now, usually I have my Vader modded for damage, but this one I loaded him with potency. because these guys got very high tenacity. So I want to be able to land some dots and debuffs, so you know, we can then start using our Calling Blade to do some big hits on them. I also obviously do want some speed on him at 268. Up next we got Thrawn here. I also loaded him with speed, so he's at 306 speed there, and obviously he's there for his fracture, so you can put somebody like Zalbar on timeout so he doesn't keep you know, interrupting you with his taunting. Palpatine here, I'm not sure how useful he really is here, but you know, I do have him otherwise modded for some potency there, so hopefully he can land some shock and stun. And as well, he's unique, it will be doing some damage to Revan and Bastila because they're Jedi every time they take a turn, so you know, a little bit help you there. Then Piet here, he really is on top of Vader's leadership a key character, and that's just because of his unique. Whenever one of your guys gets hit, he will be gaining bonus turn meter, and that's how I was able to outrun Canderous. Like, I really loaded Piet, you know, with some good speed, as you can see there, 336. Also loaded him with potency, so maybe we can land some days with his AoE. But even at 336, the enemy Karth did go first. So I'm not sure how fast the enemy Karth is. Maybe like at 360 or something, I don't know. So they will go. He will go first. Use his AOE, which will then feed turn meter to your Piet, and then Piet will be able to go before Canderous gets going. Because if Canderous gets going, you will be in trouble. So that's why Piet here is very important. On top of that as well, more from his unique, the Emperor's Trap buff. So anytime your guys get a turn, they will gain, or everybody will gain a stack of Emperor's Trap, and for each stack they will be gaining extra offense, but most importantly extra potency. So as Vader is going through you know, through his Merciless, as you're moving turn meter, your guys will keep taking a lot of turns, which will build up your potency, and you will be able to start landing those debuffs reliably. But obviously as soon as enemy takes a turn, these stacks will then get reset. So just something to bear in mind. But Piet, at least for me here, was the key character to make this whole team work. And finally, not sure this fifth character, as I said, the core here really is Vader, Thrawn and Piet, and then the other two are probably flexible, whatever you feel like using it. I just used Palpatine there, and here I used Tarkin just because his AoE can also remove turn meter on top of Vader's leadership. Alright, no special mods on him. 255. The only character really needs to be fast is Piet, so you can get a turn after Carve, remove turn meter, and then your Vader can get going, and you'll be able to quickly start removing turn meter, and you'll be able to run circles around these guys. Alright, so that's the team, the mods, and some of the mechanics here. So let's now hop into the first battle that I have here for you today. Alright, here we go. So as mentioned before, Karf will go first. I was not able to outrun him, which will feed the turn meter to Piet. And this is the important thing now, that Piet there removes turn meter from Canderous. There's 50% chance, so you may need to restart a couple of times before you get turn meter removal. Once you do remove turn meter from Canderous, then you're good to go. Go into Merciless, make sure to target Canderous first, and then on Force Crush, target Revan. So you call everybody to assist to push back their turn meter. Then just a round of ability blocks all around here, and then here Canderous. You can just probably use Calling Blade. I think it should be big enough hit. Yeah, there we go. So get rid of Canderous. There we go. Another Force Crush here. More assists. We even got stun now on Zalbar. So we got a lot of stacks of Emperor's Trap here now. So our potency and offense will be very high. So landing debuffs shouldn't be too much of an issue here. Now let's apply more debuffs here. Push back some turn meter. Perfect, and that's what's good to have there. It's not true property. You can actually put mark on him, because you know, you don't really mind if you lose him in the end. Just going after Revan first, because you can't ability block him, you can't stun him. Took out Revan. Karf is doing his best, but you know, he doesn't really stand a chance. There we go. All this turn meter removal from Vader is really helping us out. Okay, let's swap with Vader here. Let's go into Merciless. Alright, unfortunately there, Basti got a bonus turn, and she cleansed off Zalbar, so let's get her out. Now just down to Zalbar here. AoE here will dispel as well buffs on light side enemies. Now here I'm kind of taking my time with Zalbar, because you know, without any sort of progress counter here, I have no idea did I already attempt to land 30 damage over times or not. So I'm just kind of taking my time now. Just try to get a couple of more force crashes in here before I finish off Zalbar. So I can just kind of speed a little bit through as you kind of going through. There you go. I had another force crash through. Just taking my time. If there would be a counter, I would already know. Did I get 30 or not? There you go. I got another force crash in there. I don't think I'll be able to get another one. Yeah. But I think it should be good enough there. Hopefully. Yeah, just chuck it. Let's go. Alright. The one of truth. Did I attempt to inflict 30 damage over times or not? Completed with a full team of Empire units. Yeah. Free critical hits, not a problem, and also attempt to inflict 30 damage over time. It's perfect. So there you go. That's how I completed in one of my accounts where I do not have Rally Gideon, so I was not able to make it very fast to complete there. As long as you have Piet and Vader here and Thrawn, you should be good to go here. The last two are kind of optional, whatever you've got. But for those that do have a Rally Gideon, you can make him fast enough to go first, and then makes this even more easy and more reliable. So let me now show you the second battle. So my Gideon here, he was at 369 speed and was just about able to outrun Karf. Looks like Karf's speed is 360 or something. But anyway, let's control the situation here. Go into Merciless. As you can see, their turn meter is very low, so we'll be able to run circles around these guys. But mind you, when we do take out the first enemy, one of them will get a bonus turn. So just something to bear in mind as you're planning your attacks here. Alright, just go around. There we go. Took him out. Who was it? Was it Karf that got a turn? Or was it Revan? I don't know. It all happened so quickly. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. Let's just continue here. Do another AoE. Another AoE here. That should... Oh, Revan was able to survive that. Okay. Let's swap with Vader now. Get Revan out. Basti got a bonus turn. Okay, that's fine. And again... put their mark over on Snowtrooper Operative. Alright, no stuns unfortunately here. Let's put a Fracture over on Zalbar. Just use basic here, there we go, get a stun, perfect. Armor Shred. So you can see here, if you do have a fast Gideon, as mentioned before, mine was at 369, so looks like you have to be 360 plus speed. Then, you know, you can pretty much get control over the battle from beginning. You don't have to worry about Karf even getting a turn or Canderous. So it makes it very easy, but you know, as I said, in my other account I do not have a Rally Gideon, so I wouldn't be able to make him fast enough to go first. So there I had to resort to Piet getting bonus turn meter in beginning and then removing turn meter from Canderous with his AoE. And that allowed as well, but as you can see this is a lot cleaner battle here. The guys didn't even take a turn, barely a scratch, I haven't lost anybody. Not even close there. Now just kind of again, same as in the first battle, taking a little bit of my time just to make sure I had enough damage over time attempted to inflict, because hey, we still do not have progress for these feats. At this point I'm pretty much given up that we'll ever get them, so we'll just have to kind of drag on all these battles that rely on these kind of feats, hoping that we achieved it. Now Galactic challenges, this itself is not an issue because, you know, if you weren't able, you just go in again and try again. But in the Conquest it is slightly more annoying, just because obviously you are wasting energy on those attempts where you don't know did you get the feat done or not. But anyway, enough about that. We're almost through these last two enemies here. It's fine, just go into Merciless, get Zalbar out. And Basti dies from damage over times, and there you go. This is how I completed as well all 4 feats in my other account using a single team. Alright guys, hope you find this video useful and helpful, showing you how I completed in both of my accounts here all feats in a single battle. Now obviously the one without Gideon, I needed about 5 or 6 attempts for RNG to kind of align with that turn meter removal in the beginning, but after that initial turn meter removal you get control over the battle, and it's a pretty straightforward from there on out. As in my second account, as I've shown you in my battle there with Gideon, I just went in, removed turn meter, and it was pretty much, you know, no need to retry. It was very, very easy. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.